It's live.
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 In the D with Mr.
BB.
BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr.BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See. Again, a local Detroit author, soon-to-be published author, Ms. Stacy Lampkin, who's coming on and going to share with us and tell us about her new book coming out, Young and Ambitious. Good morning, Ms. Stacy.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So, as I mentioned before, you're a soon-to-be published author, so just tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into writing and whatnot?
Well, I started writing when I was 11. Me and my cousins, we were bored at like a family party, and they made like all the kids sit in one room.
Uh-huh.
So my cousin was like, let's write some stories. And it was called A Ghetto Story, and we all wrote our own version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always liked reading and writing anyways, so like when I was writing it, I don't know, I just found it fun. So yeah, I found it to be fun, and then so I started writing more to it after that day, and I eventually lost it. But I just kept writing stories, and then I would like put it in a binder, and then I was in 6th grade then, so in middle school I used to like pass the binders around to my friends and let them read it, and I just kept writing up to high school.
Okay.
And then I think I stopped in high school.
Right.
And then when I got to college, I had started Young and Ambitious, and then I stopped, and then this year I was like, it's time to just finish it. I want to be an author and I want to publish it. So this year I really just worked hard on it and finished it.
Okay. So, so that's how you got into writing, and why you write, and the college life. I can attest that college really makes you write. So yeah. I can imagine the classes you were taking really must have been okay. Wow, this is kind of sparked something in you. But what really inspires you to write, you think?
I think just being able to articulate your thoughts and your point in like a witty kind of way, because it's like when you talk, most of the time people won't listen to you,
right? And
then a lot of times, even if you know, if you're positive in your actions, people still, they don't follow. So I feel like with Young and Ambitious, like if you are a reader or you're a young adult or a teen and you read it, then I feel like you have no choice but to pay attention to, the themes that I have put in there. So I think it's really just, like, cause sometimes I'll write like poems if I'm feeling like really happy or really down. Right. So it's just kind of like I get to put my thoughts and everything into this cool structure.
Right.
So I think that's it.
Okay. Well, tell with your thoughts and whatnot. I understand. I looked at your site and your page, and it said that you're also a tutor, part-time or full-time tutor. So can you tell us, how does that tutoring tie in with your writing, or how does it help it?
So I've been tutoring since I started in high school.
Okay.
And then in college, I did it as like community service. And then after college, I didn't tutor until 2016. I graduated in 2015. Then 2016, I just had one job, and I was working at a school, and I was bored. So I was like, I'm going to tutor my two little cousins. And then people started asking me to tutor their kids. And so I was like, okay, I can kind of, make this a business, I guess.
Right.
And then a lady who has a tutoring company, she asked me to tutor a student for her. So then after that, I just started getting my own students, and now like it's just become like my life, I guess.
Right.
But I've always loved tutoring. I've been tutoring, like I said, since high school. So it's just something that I always like to do.
Okay. Can you give us just a brief, maybe synopsis of the book? Some of the things we're seeing. I saw a list of characters there. Nola, the beloved gifted, Sasha, the defender. Yeah.
So when I started off, it was going to be like just this girly type of book.
Right.
So that's why all the girls' characters their names have meaning. Like Nala is beloved, like it means like gift. And she, like, her story to me kind of like really relates to me, but I feel like the things that I've been through in a way that I can like just prosper through it all and just use that as strength. Like, I really look at myself like a gift. So that's why I chose her name. Okay. Cadence, her name is really with her character. Because cadence, yeah, right. It means like rhythm, flow, like voice. And like she always voices her opinion. Which I do. Like, all these characters, honestly, are just a piece of me. Like, I always voice my opinion. And I'm always honest. And that's her. Ebony, you know, means black. Right. So she is like the pro-black one. She's the one that wears the natural hair. She's the one, you know, that's not with, you know, society standards and everything. Exactly. So that's why she has her name. And then Sasha, it's like defender. It's more, to me, I looked at it more like fierce versus defender, because she's that one that's like real confident, like she knows like I'm all that. So that's why I chose her name. And then with the guys, I had already chose their names, but they weren't going to be like main characters at first.
Right.
But then I had got so much into the book, I was like, okay, there's no point in me going and changing their names. So their names really don't have, you know, that deep meaning as the girls do.
Well, yeah, I did notice one, though. Andrew, he has a manly, masculine.
He
was the only one.
Yeah, he's like the pro-black boy of the group. So I can tell you guys about the guy characters still, even though their names don't have those deep meanings. Andrew, he is like he's the pro-black. He's that man. Like, even though I'm a teenager, like, I'm going to stand on my 2 feet. Like, nobody's going to, you know, I don't know, just how society tries to make a black man just, you know, conform to their standards. Like, he's like, no, I'm gonna be me.
Exactly.
So,
stay in your place, sit and be still.
Yeah. Kind of so, you know, his name does fit him. Then you have Lance. Everyone else I'm about to name, they don't have deep meanings behind their name. But Lance, he is that guy that's like he's like the ladies man. Like, he just can't stop messing with all these different girls, even though he has a girlfriend. And, you know, he's just out there. Right. And Trevor is the guy who's like who came from like having nothing in life and just trying to make it, but it's like hard when you try to have like a good heart and then you try to make it, but it's like you're trying to live 2 different worlds, and it's kind of like crash on you. And Keon, he's the basketball player, so like the typical basketball star. Okay. But then, you know, he goes through a lot of stuff, and then all the characters, their lives connect in a way. So he's meeting like some of the other characters who are kind of in the street, so it kind of turns him out from, you know, having his straightforward path of going to play basketball and everything.
So not only do all your characters connect, but they're also generally, from what I'm seeing, what you're telling me, they're relatable. Yeah. You can relate them to, you know, the average young African-American male or female can relate to at least one of the characters in the book. Right. Which is always a good thing when the characters are, you know, that makes them more three-dimensional when, like, oh, I can see myself as, maybe not Lance, but as Keon or Trevor, but I can see myself as one of these young men or young women. Now you say you had a piece of each female character was part of probably you know how you act. Do you think you put any of that into any of the male characters at all? Well,
the male characters came from guys that I've dated, actually. Okay. Like, I dated a guy like Lance who just had all these girls and just couldn't get rid of them, and like a guy who like had his head, you know, he had like a straight path to where you know what you're gonna do, not necessarily basketball, but then just let life, you know. Well, now I wouldn't say let life, because when you're young, it's not necessarily you're letting life ruin you, but it just ends up happening. Yeah. You know, when Trevor, Drew, so basically they're based off guys that I've dated.
Okay. All right. And you spoke on Ebony, who's the natural black, she's all pro-black and the natural hair and whatnot. And again, I noticed in your blog, in your website, you speak about that as well as natural hair and natural hairless. Can you tell us a bit about, just you being a young black woman in the natural hair and how that topic kind of comes all together?
Yeah, so I've been like really obsessed with my hair lately because I tried to start 2 years ago, well, 2015, and then I quit because everybody was saying it was ugly, and then I felt ugly and I wasn't used to it, and then I started back in 2016, but I had to like keep pushing myself because, I had all these straight pieces because it was like heat damaged, and then I had color in my hair, so that was making it fall out too. So I had to like really just tell myself like, you're going to get the end results, and follow all these natural pages on Instagram and use that as motivation. And now like my natural curl pattern is just so perfect, and like well you probably know like shrinkage and everything. Like my hair is like coming down here now when I straighten it out. So now like my hair is really getting the results that I wanted, so I'm glad that I really stuck with it. And what I want to do as part of my foundation, I really want to like help black girls grow their hair. When I worked at the school, I started with the 6th graders, and then I went to kindergarten. So I noticed like the kindergartners, they had like they had really long hair, and their parents kept their hair in braids, protective styles. And then by the time they got to 6th grade, that's when it was kind of like ate out, all damaged and everything. So what I want to do is I want to like go to like middle schools and high schools and do something with my foundation where I'm helping the girls grow their hair. I know like a lot of people are afraid to walk around like with their hair like this. So I don't know, I just want to show them like my results and show them that our hair does grow. Like we can have long, healthy hair, but you have to be patient with it. So, and then I'm also doing, the Bald and Bougie. That was my first, excuse me. That was my very first blog post because, yeah. So during the summertime, I did a lot of wash and goes. So my hair was like curly, shrink, looking really short all the time. So like people just kept saying, "Did you cut your hair?" Because I always had like a decent amount of hair. Thank you so much.
Lampkin's still here with us. Again, continue talking about not only her book, but we got into discussion here about the other things she's doing. Her organization, foundation, the natural hair she's rocking and supporting and helping young women and young ladies grow their hair and be comfortable with their natural hair. And next I want to talk about is your foundation. That was the last thing we've kind of left on. So what is your foundation? What does it do? What's the name of your foundation and what do they do?
So the name of the foundation is also called Young and Ambitious, like the book.
Okay.
And I started in 2016, and I did a back to school event and a prom contest and a coat drive.
Okay.
And what I want to do is like what I really had to do for 2017. I had to choose between pushing the foundation and the book, and I chose the book to get that out of the way. Right. And then now this year I really want to like go forward with it and do a lot of things in the community, especially things that we don't see with like we have a lot of programs in Detroit. Yes. But I really want to work on not necessarily just the self-esteem, but I feel like the self-esteem really helps the kids in the classroom. Like just noticing like the 6th grade girls that I work with, like you can tell that, I don't know, you get the vibe that the reason that they are not performing well or the reason that they're in school and don't care is because they don't feel good about themselves. Okay. So I want to do things in a foundation that's going to make them feel good as a whole, and I feel like that's just going to automatically go into their schoolwork and other things, because if you wake up, you feel like, not necessarily like, oh, you all that, but you're like, I feel good,
exactly. You feel good.
I'm going to go to school. I need to perform well because I need these grades to go to the next level because I want to be something in life. So I feel like it's just going to naturally flow once these girls get rid of all these self-esteem issues and barriers. So that's what I want to do this year with once, you know, the
Once
book
is
the
out.
book launch party and everything.